So we're on lesson 2-4 out of our math book, and I am going to put these in Cornell format. I think these are some important notes that are easiest looking at it in Cornell note format. So 2-4 actually begins on page 103. But let's just get these notes down. Everything I write down, you write down. There's only 3 examples. So the question here is we're still solving equations. And the question is, will a one variable equation always have one solution? One variable means we only usually see one letter in the problem. It's the same letter we see if we see it multiple times, but we only see one. So let's go ahead and just walk through this problem. We're going to solve equations. And as I draw my line down the equal sign, I have no subtraction that I need to change. Step 3 is to apply that distributive property. So I'm going to apply the distributive property on the left-hand side, and I end up with a 4x plus a 4.8 equals, and I'm going to bring everything else down, x plus 2.5 plus 2x plus 4.5. So now we're on to step 4. We applied the distributive property, and now we got to see, do we have like terms? Do I have like terms on this left-hand side here? Can I combine those? No, they do not both have the letter x. They're not like terms. So now we look at the other side. Do I have any like terms on the right-hand side that we can combine? And yes, we do. We can combine the x and the 2x, and so we get a 3x. But we can also combine our 2.5 and our 4.5 to get the whole number 7. So we had like terms that we could combine. We bring everything else straight down. We are now only looking at that blue line, what's written in blue. So now that we've gone through steps 1 through 4, we want to move the letters to get them together. And remember, we like to move the smaller one. So is 4x smaller or 3x? The 3x is. The opposite of a positive 3x would be take away 3x. Whatever we do to one side, we need to do to the other. And this becomes a 0. Remember, we're trying to get our letters together. And so now we're left with 1x plus 4.8 equals 7. And we want to get our x isolated all by itself. The opposite of a plus 4.8 would be take away. Again, whatever we do to one side, we want to do to the other. We get a 0 here. So we are left with 1x equals 2.2. And we have solved for 1x. We are done. This is what we would call a one solution. There is one answer for x that will make this equation true. So this is an example of a one solution problem. And honestly, every problem up to this point in math class this year has been one solution. We have found one answer that will work for x for each of the different equations. So this is nothing new. This is a review of solving equations. And we're now identifying how many solutions we can have. And this is one solution. You get one answer for the letter x. Let's look at the next problem and see what happens. Go back. I think we can all say, will a one variable equation always just have one solution? That is no. We can have one solution. It is an option. But we can have all solutions or no solutions as well. Keep solving these equations. Here's example 2. And again, we're going to go through our solving steps. So let's draw that line down the equal sign. We're going to ask ourselves, do we have any subtraction? And the answer is no. We're going to ask ourselves, do we have the distributive property, grouping symbols? And the answer is no. So now we need to ask ourselves, do we have like terms? Can we combine the left side? No, we cannot. They are not like terms. They don't have the same letter. Can we combine anything on the right side? Yes, we can. We notice that we have a 2x and an x, and that combines to 3x. And we also notice we have a positive 10 and a positive 5. Those are like terms. They're constants. And we can combine those to get 15. And we bring everything on the other side straight down. And you're probably at this point noticing something. And what you're probably noticing is that the left side is exactly like the right side. Let's keep going and see what happens. Now we need to move our letters to get them together. We have gone through step 1 through 4, and now we want to move our letters. And so we want to subtract 3x from both sides. And what you will notice here is that you have a 0 here and a 0 here. And you are left with 15 equals 15. And then what I want you to ask yourselves is this a true statement? Does 15 equal 15? Is that a true statement? And I think many of you would say, yes, that is a true statement. 15 is equal to 15. Because my letters are gone, and we do have a true statement, we could actually put any number in for x, and the left side will equal the right. And we call this one infinitely many solutions. Any number will work for x. You could put the number 2 in for x, and it will work. The left side will equal the right. You could put the number 5 in. You could put a negative a half. You can put any number in for x, and the left side will equal the right. Infinitely many solutions, or we could say all solutions. There's not just one answer like the last problem and like what we are used to. Okay, and so how do we know it's infinitely many? Because our letter is gone and the left side does equal the right. That is a true statement. So far we've looked at 2 different kinds of answers we can get. We can get a one solution that we just looked at in example 1, where you have one answer that works. Or now we also can get, where the x's cancel out, and you have a true statement. Yes, this is true. And so we have infinitely many or all solutions. And there's nothing else you write. There's not just one answer. It's all answers. Let's look at another example. This is our last example, and then I'll summarize it on the last page. Say, again, we're going to go through our steps. We're going to draw our line down the equal sign. Do we have subtraction? No. We do have the distributive property. So let's go ahead and distribute. 3 times 2 is 6x, plus 3 times 5 is 15. And then on the right-hand side, 2 times 3 is 6x, plus 2 times 3 is 6. So we went through our distributive property, and now we need to ask ourselves, do we have like terms on the left? No, we do not. Like terms on the right? No, we do not. So we are done with step 4. We need to move and get the letters together. And so here, we need to subtract our 6x. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. And what you're going to notice is you have a 0 and you have a 0. And what do we have left? We have 15 equal to 6. And so let's ask ourselves, is that a true statement? So is this a true statement? And I think we can all agree that this is false. And if we were bringing in our literacy skills here, this would be a contradiction. We cannot have 15 equal to 6. That is truly a contradiction. This is not true. It is false. And so this solution is nothing will work. There is no answer for x that will make this true. So we literally just write no solution. You could try any number, but nothing's going to work. Okay, it's a contradiction. 15 does not equal 6. It is false. It is not a true statement. They're not equal. And we have what we call no solution. So let's talk real quick and summarize. Our essential question was, will a one variable equation always only have one answer? And that answer, or one solution, and that answer is no, that's not true. I think the key word there was always. And always is a false statement here. So the key concept box, which I always like, is on page 107 in your book. And it kind of goes through each of the solutions. Okay, we have our one variable solution here in the middle, where we have one answer. One solution meaning we get one answer. And this is the most common. And it is the most common because that's what we've been doing for the last 8 weeks, is solving equations. And we've been getting one solution for all of them. But there are times when we will get a no solution, which means we have an untrue statement. We have a false, not true statement. We have a contradiction. And then there is the third type, which is infinitely many solutions, also known as all solutions. And this is when we do have a true statement, when the left side does equal the right. And so this is 2-4, lesson 2-4 notes. These were, these problems that I did, example 1, 2, and 3, were actually examples straight out of your book.